When I think of hash browns, I think of a crispy crust encasing fluffy mashed potatoes. I love hash browns, not only for breakfast, but they're also fantastic as a little snack. Now, my hash browns are very special because they're gluten-free, so everyone can enjoy them. And instead of using breadcrumbs, I'm using corn tortilla strips. Fantastic as a snack, but really good for this. So very versatile. I'm going to add about 2 really big handfuls into a food processor. The lid goes on, and then I'm going to pulse about 4 or 5 times until a fine crumb forms. Okay, this is exactly what I'm after. Super fine crumbs that resemble breadcrumbs. And you can hear how crunchy this is going to be. It's going to be fantastic for our hash browns. Now, to ensure that this sticks, I'm adding a little bit of Parmesan. Parmesan is great. It's going to act like the glue, so a good handful, and then with your hands, mix it and incorporate it with the tortilla crumb. Now that the coating's done, we can get on to our fluffy mashed potatoes. Now, this is just leftover mashed potato from last night. Works perfectly for hash browns, or you can do some mashed potato from scratch. I need to add some flavorings to this. I love the addition of onion powder and garlic powder. I need an extra binding agent. I'm adding a little bit of corn flour and a good pinch of salt and a crack of pepper. Now, this is where it gets really fun at home because you could add all different types of ingredients. Fresh herbs like chives or parsley work nicely. If you want to make these hash browns extra cheesy, by all means, you could add some cheese to the mashed potato. Now, using a fork, combine everything together, and that's the mash ready to go. Now we need to start a little production line. We need eggs for this recipe. This is going to also act like a glue so we can stick our corn tortillas onto the hash brown. So 3 eggs, and just to loosen up this mixture, I'll add a little bit of water. You could also use some milk if you like. Using a fork, I'll just break up those yolks and give that a really good whisk so the egg whites and the yolks mix together nicely. All right, now for the fun part, we're going to make our hash browns. Using your hands, make balls that are around the size of golf balls, and you can get the kids involved. They love doing this. It's very easy to do. Just make sure they don't go near the oil when you start to fry, and then pat that down into a patty. This goes into our egg wash. Drain off the excess egg. You don't want too much egg. And then into our cheesy corn tortilla crumb, and then we're going to coat it. If you want it extra crunchy, by all means, you could add this back to the egg and then into the corn tortilla crumb, but I'm just going to do 1 coating for today. Take off the excess, and then we can start frying this into some hot oil that's at 180 degrees. I'm just shallow frying these because they're not so high, and be very careful when you're adding this. Don't throw them in, get as close as you can to the oil and gently pop them in. Now, these are going to take about 1 minute on each side. I'm going to turn them over so we get a nice even golden crust on each side. So happy with the way these hash browns have turned out. You can see how golden and crispy the outside is, and I just know we've got fluffy mashed potatoes in the center. And then to serve them up, I like to just pile them up generously on a bright plate, a little wedge of lemon on the side, and lucky I have my Grand's famous tomato relish. I love the addition of this, so just a nice big spoonful. Great to serve with our hash browns. Now, I've kept my hash browns really basic today, but I'm just thinking about so many different combinations you can do using the corn tortilla strips as the crumb. You can make fish patties, you could use leftover sweet potatoes, you could even use leftover chicken to make croquettes. These are sensational, and best of all, they're gluten-free.